Under the cloak of a seemingly average December day, as the Thames estuary braced against the piercing cold winds, the ground was being set for a remarkable chapter of valor and heroism. The quiet hum of the British coast was about to be shattered by a desperate Mayday call. What could turn a standard cargo voyage from Nigeria to London into a heart-stopping international episode? Prepare yourself as we dive deep into the pulse-racing chronicle of Operation Buckthorn. Aim your mouse and help to shoot that subscribe button. The Glenda, an Italian cargo ship, had embarked on what seemed like another ordinary journey from Nigeria's port of Lagos to Britain's port of Tilbury. The ocean waves gently caressed the ship's sides. The crew chatted about their plans once they docked, and the vast horizon promised nothing but the familiarity of the English coast. Everything followed the routine maritime rhythm until the 21st of December, a date forever etched in the memories of those aboard. Just off the coast of Margate, shadows began to move amidst the ship's cargo. The real intentions of these shadows were far from innocent. 4 stowaways, having hidden amongst the cargo since the ship left Nigeria, emerged with a sinister plan. Their makeshift weapons, though not sophisticated, were enough to intimidate and sow seeds of chaos. Their demand was clear and chilling: divert the Glenda to the British coastline. These weren't trained militants, but their desperation made them unpredictable and dangerous. As they prowled the ship's corridors, the crew faced an excruciating choice. Should they try to overpower the intruders and risk injury, or should they comply and hope for the best? However, the ship's captain, a man seasoned by the tides of the sea, made a daring move. He resisted their threats, and instead, in a masterful display of courage and wit, managed to secure himself and his crew in a safe compartment. From this makeshift fortress, they sent out a cry for help. Yet, as the hours dragged on, the atmosphere grew increasingly tense. The cold metal of the ship seemed to grow colder, the distant sounds of the ocean more haunting. Every creak of the ship, every gust of wind seemed like a harbinger of an impending doom. The crew's minds raced. Would they ever see their families again? How long before the hijackers lost patience? The thoughts of what could go wrong were endless. But outside, unbeknownst to them, the wheels of rescue were already in motion. Word had reached the Ministry of Defense, and a storm was brewing on the horizon. A storm of Britain's finest, preparing to face the challenge head-on. The night silence was pierced by the distant hum of helicopters. Above, the fierce outlines of the Royal Navy Merlins hovered menacingly, guardians against the bleak backdrop of the December sky. Each helicopter, emblazoned with insignia, was a symbol of British resolve. The mission had begun. From the lead helicopter, codenamed Renegade 3, the mission commander, Captain Wells, communicated with his elite SBS team. Every second mattered, and every move had to be meticulously executed. In a synchronized maneuver, teams from Renegade 4 inches positioned themselves around the ship, ensuring no escape route for the hijackers. Infrared vision aided the SBS in the veil of the night, capturing every movement on the ship. As Renegade 3 inches hovered above the main deck, operators began their fast rope descent. The first pair landed swiftly, scanning the surroundings and signaling the all-clear for the next. Their boots echoed on the steel, a drumbeat of impending confrontation. On board, the hijackers felt the unsettling vibration from above, sensing the impending storm. With communications disrupted, they scrambled, but the labyrinth of the cargo ship, which they thought they knew, seemed foreign under duress. Captain Wells led his group towards the bridge. As they approached, they heard muffled conversations and the panic-stricken tones of the hijackers. The team used compact breaching charges, and in a flash, the door to the bridge was no more. As smoke filled the room, shadows clashed. Every trained move of the SBS was met with desperate resistance from the hijackers. The close-quarter combat was intense, raw, and unforgiving. Outside, Renegade 1 inch and 2 inches relayed vital intel. They identified a potential threat. One hijacker was attempting to sabotage the ship's engine, a desperate move to create a diversion. Lieutenant Shaw and his trio were dispatched. In a race against time, they navigated the ship's innards, confronting and neutralizing the threat just in the nick of time. Back at the bridge, the final standoff was underway. One of the hijackers, cornered and desperate, held a crew member at knife point. Captain Wells, drawing on his years of experience, initiated a dialogue, buying time, as another operator stealthily approached from behind. Then, in a split second, as the ship's alarm blared and lights flickered, the operator lunged, disarming the hijacker. The bridge, once a scene of chaos, now stood testament to the expertise and tenacity of the SBS. As dawn's first light started to break, casting a gentle glow upon the waters, the Glenda-Timmins crew emerged from their makeshift sanctuaries. They had spent hours oscillating between hope and despair, and now, with the threat neutralized, they started to take stock of the events that had unfolded. Commander Stanton, the ship's second-in-command, orchestrated the crew's efforts to ensure the ship's systems were intact. An impromptu debrief was held in the mess hall. Crew members shared their tales, each more harrowing than the last. Elsewhere on the ship, makeshift triage stations were set up. Medical officer Lynn Davies with her team attended to minor injuries, providing a comforting presence amidst the remnants of chaos. Their gentle demeanors and soothing words brought solace, reminding everyone that humanity prevails even in dire circumstances. In the aftermath, as the ship sailed under the protective gaze of the Royal Navy, there was also a moment of commemoration. If you want to journey further into such thrilling tales of bravery and tactical genius, shoot that subscribe button and click on one of these videos. Let's continue our march through history together,